The UGC Regulation 2018 for academic integrity are applicable to students, faculty, researchers and staff of the higher education institute. Which document must students submit along with their thesis or dissertation as per the UGC Regulation 2018, that is undertaking of originality and plagiarism check. What does academic integrity mean under the regulation? That is intellectual honesty in research and reporting. What is the level of one plagiarism as per the UGC norm? That is 10 to 40% similarity. Who head the department academic integrity panel? Head of the department. Common knowledge refers to facts commonly known and not requiring citation. The IAIP is constituted at which level? That is institutional level. What is the penalty for level 3 plagiarism in research publication? That is denial of 2 annual increment and bar on supervising for 3 years. The regulation mandates submission of soft copies of thesis to which repository? That is Sodh Ganga. Who can be considered an author under this regulation? That is any creator of the work under higher education institute. What does HEI stand for? Higher Educational Institute. Which of the following is excluded from plagiarism checks? That is preface and acknowledgement. Which body reviews finalize penalties for plagiarism? That is IAIP. Level 0 plagiarism up to 10% results in no penalty. What is the validity period of DAIP members' tenure? That is 2 years. According to the UGC regulation, plagiarism includes presenting someone else's idea as one's own. Which agency published the 2018 Academic Integrity Regulation in the Gazette of the India? That is UGC. Plagiarism complaints against head of HER are dealt with by controlling authority of the HEI. Which of these is a valid purpose of the UGC regulation? Ensure responsible research and prevent plagiarism. In case of level 2 plagiarism in a thesis, what is the penalty? That is debarred from resubmitting for 1 year. Penalties for plagiarism in student submission are based on percentage of similarity detected. A student whose thesis shows 35% similarity falls under level 1. In case of plagiarism between 40 to 60%, the penalty is thesis to be rejected and resubmitted after 1 year. Level 3 plagiarism in a student's thesis leads to cancellation of the registration. DAIP should submit its report to IAIP within 15 working days. Final authority to impose penalties lies with the IAIP. Which of the following is not considered plagiarism? That is paraphrasing with proper citation. For teaching faculty, plagiarism less than 60% in a publication leads to bar from supervising students for the 3 years. UGC mandates submission of thesis in which format? Soft copy in PDF for the Sodh Ganga. How long does IAIP have to make its final decision after receiving the DAIP reports? That is 60 working days. Who is required to certify the originality of a student's thesis? Supervisor and student jointly. Which section of the regulation covers responsibility of HEIs? That is section 5. Under the UGC regulation, plagiarism in administrative documents leads to disciplinary action by the institution. The regulation is applicable to all types of academic and research documents. DAIP stands for Department Academic Integrity Panel. Which of the following is not excluded from similarity check? That is methodology. The term academic misconduct includes plagiarism, falsification data, fabrication of result. Sodh Ganga is maintained by implement. What is the purpose of Sodh Ganga? Digital repository of the thesis and the dissertation. UGC mandates similarity checks to be conducted before submission of final thesis and dissertation. A researcher's paper was retracted due to plagiarism. As per UGC, he cannot supervise any research student for the 3 years. The regulation mandates forming IAIP in higher education institute with Vice Chancellor as a chairperson. Plagiarism in administrative documents includes copying annual reports, minutes of meeting and office memos. Repeated offense of plagiarism by a faculty member leads to higher penalties and stricter sanctions. Who ensure that students are made aware of plagiarism regulation, that is higher education institution administration. Academic integrity promotes honesty and responsibility in the research. IAIP's final report must be based on evidence, context, and DAIP's recommendation. UGC mandates institutional policies on plagiarism must be published on the university website. A student submitting a plagiarized synopsis 20% similarity faces resubmission with the penalty. The regulation was published in the Official Gazette of India on 31st July 2018. What is the penalty per student with level 1 plagiarism? That is revise and resubmit within 6 months. Level 2 plagiarism in a thesis submission means the student is debarred from resubmitting for 1 year. At level 3 plagiarism, in thesis, the penalty is cancellation of the registration. What penalty is given to a faculty member with level 1 plagiarism in publication? That is asked to withdraw the manuscript. A repeat offense of level 3 plagiarism leads to disciplinary action including suspension and termination. Penalties are imposed only after all appeals are exhausted. The DAIP submits its report to IAIP within 45 days. If a plagiarism is proven after the degree is awarded, UGC allows degree or credit be put in abeyance for a period. Who acts on complaints against the head of the HEI, that is controlling authority? Which of the following excluded from plagiarism check, that is quoted material with the attribution? Who approves the final penalty decision at the institutional level? Head of the institution. If a DAIP members is under plagiarism investigation, they must recuse themselves from related meetings. What is the maximum tenure of IAP members? 3 years. IAIP must submit its report within how many days of DAIP? That is 45 days. Higher education must upload soft copy of dissertation to the Shodhganga. If a manuscript has over 40% similarity, faculty must withdraw the manuscript. Plagiarism of 10 to 40% by faculty also leads to manuscript withdrawal. Who nominates the anti-plagiarism expert in DAIP? Head of the department. Faculty with level 2 plagiarism cannot guide researcher for 2 years. Level 3 publication plagiarism penalty includes denial of the 2 annual increment. Which panel is responsible for investigating plagiarism cases institution-wide? That is IAIP. An IAIP investigation must follow natural justice principle. Common knowledge includes obvious facts not requiring citation. A student repeating level 2 plagiarism will be penalized at level 3. If plagiarism is discovered in a submitted thesis, the HEI must investigate through DIP. Plagiarism check tools must be accessible to all students, faculty, researchers, and staff. The IAIP includes one member from outside the HEIs. DEIP member tenure is 2 years. A faculty found guilty of plagiarism can be barred from supervising for 2 to 3 years depending on the label. If a thesis is found to be 8% similar, then no penalty is imposed.